What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim here, back with another review. Today, taking a look at a board game, believe it or not. Probably a lot of you guys are wondering, Jim, why are you reviewing a board game? You're a video game guy. You're wearing a Zelda shirt. You're wearing a Quake hat. You got video game stuff on the wall behind you. What are you doing? The truth is, this company contacted me and said, would you like to review our game? And I said, sure, why not? So I did receive a copy for free. Keep that in mind, whether that you think I'm biased or unbiased. I think I'm a pretty level-headed guy, but I want to be upfront and honest. But when I was talking to them, I was like, I don't want to play a board game. I'm a reviewer of video games, man. I don't want to be bothered with this stuff. They told me that this is a product that is designed to bridge the gap between the responsiveness of video gaming and the, this is my own words, kind of like that connection to a board game. You know, my wife and I do play board games, not as much as we used to, but we sure bought quite a few of them. And it is fun. So, you know, you set everything up. It takes a while though. There's pieces everywhere. The rule book is usually a phone book. My wife reads it. I zone out. Then we end up watching like 6 YouTube videos to think we understand how to play, but we really don't. They're kind of complex. Not to take away from it. There's a market for that. It's just not my market. So I'm talking through all this. I'm like, I don't really know if this is something I'm interested in. They said, listen, no. Blinks brings the responsiveness of video games to tabletop gaming. Absent of screens, the focus is hands-on. From flickering fun to brain-busting puzzles, Blinks allow a type of game that has never been played before. So I'm like, okay, if there's a video game hook, maybe I'll check it out. And I finally got it. So what the heck is a blink? A blink is one of these little hexagon things here, and hopefully the camera is going to do it justice and you can take a look at it. On the sides, there are magnets because they snap to one another, and on the back is a hexagon-shaped silicone pad. Underneath, there are LED lights. Now, I tried my hardest to get this to record numerous times, and you're going to see some injection of some gameplay here in a minute, just some cutscenes over a little B-reel footage while I'm talking. It's really hard to photograph these. Even with my iPhone, I could not get a good quality shot of the lights. It photographs better in dark. I like the dark. It works well, but I'm telling you guys, when you play it, it doesn't look like this. This looks like just a solid sheet of like bluish, pinkish, purplish. This is actually very distinctly blue and white and pink, and there's actually a blank square in here, believe it or not. So what is Blinks though? What is it? What do you do? Well, it comes with 9 different games. There are expansion packs to buy more. The game is listed on the front, and you can see I have them all here. This one's Wham. It says Wham on the front. Let's look at one more together. This one is called Paintbrush, and there is the paintbrush on the cover there. So what you do is you have this tile, and then you have all these other tiles, and you snap them together, which is easy because it's magnetized. It works super well. They snap very, very easily. They pull apart very easily. And you basically flash all the games with one of the games. So you press and hold this button, and if this is like the game you want to play, you press and hold it, and it starts flickering really fast, and then you snap the other pieces next to it, and then it spreads the game to those other pieces, and then you play the game. It's that easy. And I was appreciative that it wasn't a difficult setup because I'm tired of this board game stuff where we're playing terraforming and it takes an hour and a half to set up the board and we're like, what is going on? I don't want to deal with this anymore. All right, so looking through this, like I said, there's 9 games. Some of them do require multiple players. Some of them you can play on your own. And there are more online. You can buy additional game pieces. There's actually a website that they have created. You could probably guess it. The link's in the description below. Where MOVE38 has actually created a toolkit for you to make your own game, which I don't know anything about coding. And I'm like, okay, this is a gimmick because nobody is going to code for this product. I just know the website is going to be barren. There's going to be no information on there. I was pleasantly surprised. There is actual games on there right now. People are posting their GitHub code, sharing concepts with each other. As of the date of this recording, which is June 16th, 2021, there are active posts going on right now, which I was really surprised about. I was like, wow, I cannot believe that people are actually doing this. So I feel like there's a robust enough community that if you had never heard of this and you want to buy into it, I think you can buy with some relative confidence that it does exist. I couldn't find a subreddit on it. Other than that official website, I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about it, but it does exist. There is a market for it. There are people who are actively talking about it. So if you don't see the game you like, chances are somebody may be working on it, or at least you can kind of throw out your, like for me, just an idea guy. Some of the concepts for the games I've seen are actually really, really cool. One of the really cool ones I saw was is like a snake where there's like 10 pieces and the colors are going through, and you got to take the last piece and snap it around as fast as you can, and it continually spreads up, and it's like a dexterity type thing. I like a game called Puzzle 101 where it's just matching colors, which is very, very simple for me. There are other games like a war type game where like each person will take turns, and it's kind of like trying to spread your color across the map. And then there's the tech demo, which I will be injecting some footage somewhere around now, called Zen Flow. And Zen Flow is you press the button and it just, it's like a Razer RGB keyboard where it percolates the colors out. And depending on where you snap them, you can see it like snapping through with like tendrils. It's kind of cool. I gotta admit it's got some neat things to it. So the question though is, does it really answer the mail in terms of bridging that, and I'm reading right out the box again, the responsiveness of video games to tabletop gaming? Does it do that? I'd say partially yes. I wouldn't say entirely. This is definitely not a replacement for your Nintendo Switch. This is definitely not a replacement for your Game Boy, who still has Game Boys, by the way. I do, but I don't play it. Right? It's not going to be that like pick up a controller, super tactile, whatever. But it is going to be a different way to play. And for that, I really applaud it. It is a very original concept. I actually looked online to kind of see if there were other games that had this kind of thing. And the first thing my mind goes to is Light Bright. You remember Light Bright? Um, I never had one. I know my wife did when she was a kid. But basically, you plug in lights and it kind of spreads out over time. This actually had games with it that required thought. Blocking people. Maybe you lay out all the tiles and everybody takes turns connecting a piece, trying to spread some color out. And it's like a virus, and you're like trying to counter each other. There is strategy in this. There is shapes that you have to snap individual sides together. When you're playing Puzzle 101, you have to make sure all the colors are accounted for, including blanks. And I could see this idea expanding over time where you're basically making a virtual puzzle. It's just colors and shapes. I mean, you're not worrying about how they snap because they'll always snap together oh so well because, that's the design of it. But the idea is that, this is a modular idea. If you had more of these, you could expand that. And I could totally see a world in which you're playing with a big board of that. Now, unfortunately, the way that this setup is designed, most of the games only require anywhere, like the kit I have has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different pieces to it. Obviously, I couldn't go on the site and say, hey, send me like 5 more blank blinks, because I want to extend my puzzle game even wider. Some of the games just don't have support for that. I would like to see that in the future. I think that would really help people buy into the idea of like a modular game system where you're taking and connecting all these pieces together and you're making something else. But right now, everything is designed with a kit in mind. And I think that's the only downfall. Now, it isn't cheap. And there are different sales going on the site, so keep that in mind, when you're going to buy it. But I really do think you could buy something like this with confidence. Is this something that, you can find, weeks and weeks and months out of entertainment on? Well, with the 9 games that are included in here, I would say no. But I would say that they're fun, and I could see myself coming back to them again. Like Puzzle 101, that's like my go-to game. It's fun. It's super easy to set up. It's kind of just like something you casually do. It's kind of neat to see how everything connects together. It's a lot of fun. Some of the other games that are a little bit more complex, I'm looking through the manual here, like Spinamino. Spinamino is definitely a lot more complex, and it's a game that you have to place your blinks together in a cluster, and then basically try to connect them all together in a win condition by doing as minimal movement as possible. So this would be something that you would play It even says here it's best played with more than 12 blinks, but it is playable with as few as 6. That's a kind of game I'm talking about where you could totally see it scaled further down the road, and you can continue to kind of expand your collection there. The idea of taking a game and putting it on a disc and flashing it to other discs or blinks, whatever they want to call them, it's actually a really novel concept, and I think that's something that should be applauded. I would like to see where this product is in a year from now. That's, I think, what I would really say. I would like to see, I'm recording this as 6/16/2021 in the morning. I would love to see in a year from now, have we seen more than this? Have we gotten more of an expansion? It doesn't need to have, full-blown OLED LCDs on the back. The 6 lights do a really good job, and I think there's a lot of creative manipulation to do color matching and color shape games, and like puzzle and dark ball, which is basically like ping pong. You play ping pong with this thing back and forth. Stuff like that. I feel like that's fun. I'd like to see where this ends up. I think that's where I'm going to leave this review. To close everything out, though, I will say, do I recommend it? Yeah, I do. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's something you could see yourself playing with. I'm an adult man. I am a 38.9999, because my birthday's here in like 2 weeks, old man. And I like this. This is fun to me, and I'm looking forward to bringing this over to my buddy's house next time we do a game night and showing him off and saying, hey, look, like we'll all be together, me and my wife and him and his wife will all sit down. I could totally see us sitting down and playing a game of Heist together. I could see us totally sitting down and playing Puzzle 101 or Wham together, which is basically like whack-a-mole. I think it'd be fun. And I think that's where this definitely complements some of the other games that you may have. And it keeps you away from the TV. Last thing I'll say, last thing. These are all individually powered by cell phone. I keep saying, when I was practicing what I wanted to say earlier, I said I wasn't going to say cell phone battery, and I did. These are individually powered with those calculator batteries, like the CR70 2072s or whatever they are. These are going to be a pain in the butt to break open, although there is a little slot on the front for you to use and stick a screwdriver and pop them out. This is going to get expensive if you don't turn these things off. Now, they do turn off automatically after 10 minutes, but I would totally recommend you turning them off on your own, because this is going to be an expensive investment when one of these things starts going out. It's the first board game that requires some sort of maintenance. But there you guys have it, my complete unbiased thoughts on Blinks by MOVE38. I will post a link to their official website in the description box below. I hope you guys found this video informative. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments. You guys know I do my best to respond to each and every one of you, even though it may take me a little bit of time. That's it for me today. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.